Let's start with the contract, the renewal of the sponsorship. It must be great for you to know that Toyota sees the value in the Cheetahs in the Pro 14, even through this last couple of years where you've played in two competitions at the same time and gone through all that and come out stronger.
This is of great value to the Toyota Cheetahs, the sponsorship from Toyota. The fact that an internationally great brand like Toyota supports the Toyota Cheetah brand shows its value in the Cheetah brand. It excites the players and coaches and supporters. It means it's a tremendous sponsorship and of great value to all of us, and we're thankful and fortunate.
Just on that, I mean, you guys have gone through. It's going to be great this year to actually play in the Currie Cup without having the Pro 14 worries. To at least have the two competitions separate for a change.
Yeah, the fact that there's no overlap is of great value. It's good news for us. We really try to make it work, but it's just not possible with a small player base to play Currie Cup and Pro Rugby simultaneously. That just didn't work for us. But now the Pro 14 team is well prepared going into the Currie Cup. I think we'll have a good Currie Cup season. Looking forward to that. And then from there build into the new the Pro 14 competition again from September. We're looking forward to that.
You spoke on the panel there about Pro 14 being tougher than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Maybe you can elaborate. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, Brenden, we expected it to be sort of a soft competition, not a tough one. But it's tougher than Super Rugby in some instances. Like you play Leinster in Dublin, it's too tough to handle. Like most of those players play for Ireland, they beat the All Blacks. Wales, all of those players play Pro 14 rugby, and they won the Six Nations. Scotland almost hammered England. All those players play Pro 14 in the two teams, Edinburgh and Glasgow. So it's a very tough competition, especially to play there in winter time. It's hot in summer here, but then they have to play here and it's tough for them. No, it's a great competition. It's easier to fly to the venues up north than to fly to Australia and New Zealand. It's tougher. I think it will grow in stature. I think it will become one of the special competitions in World Rugby, Pro 14.
Sorry, Brenden, do you want to carry on? I think we've all realised that the sort of strength of Pro 14, just in terms of the playing aspect, how good it is, but it's obviously also very important that it makes financial sense for you guys.
Yeah.
How is that sort of financial model working out for you guys? Is it working?
So far it was a bit negative out of Super Rugby and Pro Rugby, supporters, season tickets, suite sales. But I must say that I've seen a similar kind of trend at the other unions. Supporters drop down even if they play local derbies, etc. But I think the problem is that Pro 14 was a very unknown competition. Players very unknown, difficult time frames to play in. That will change. We'll get onto the radar again, and that will help. But it had a negative effect financially. But we have succeeded in dealing with it going forward. So we've trimmed down on our income streams from suites and tickets, etc. But we build on the other side in sponsorships and so on.
What can SA Rugby do through their voice at Pro 14 then to make it a better competition, to make it more, I suppose, acceptable for the public, with more publicity, that sort of thing? Where would you like to see it, and what can they do to help you?
Well, that's a very sensitive and important point to make. We feel that we need more exposure all over the show, and that will come because Pro 14 happened overnight, and it was difficult for the broadcasters to fit it into the already signed schedules. I think it will work in going forward. But the bigger issue is if we can get more local derbies, like 2 extra teams in Pro 14 from South Africa, those local derbies will be great. And there's talk of it. So let's hope and see. As from next year, the year after, there might be extra teams in. We missed the local derbies against the Bulls, Stormers, Lions. Hopefully that can change a bit. There's talk of Griquas and Pumas in a group or something. Let's see what happens, and that will work for us.
Well, another way I suppose it would work for you guys is if you have Griquas there, then the teams could make a 2-week trip very close to each other and keep them on the Highveld and not leave them on the coast and coming up late to you guys.
Well, if they go Pro 16, then you play in pools like 4-4-4. Scotland will play with Italy, Wales 4, Ireland 4, and then us in South Africa maybe 4, or a link with other teams, but we'll have a group of 4. It was similar to a World Cup. Then you play your playoffs and then you move on and create the excitement going forward. I think that will work for us. That will work. Let's talk about it, and I think it's there, almost there.
Hypothetical question: if SA Rugby had to come to you tomorrow and say, "Okay, we've got a place for you back in Super Rugby," would you take it, or would you stick with Pro 14?
You know, that's a tough question because Super Rugby is a fantastic competition. But let me say, there's quite a number of discussions behind the scenes with some of the big entities that might want to enter Pro 14. So it's not that easy. I think we're happy in Pro 14. We want to stick there for a couple of years and see how it grows. It was tough there, Super Rugby, to travel to Japan, Argentina, Christchurch. Not easy. We struggle to perform in those competitions.
Just lastly on the player, same question I've more or less asked you up front there, the player contracting issue, that's something that's definitely going to benefit you guys with a lot more guys in the market, and salaries obviously going to come down with the caps and things like that.
Look, I think it'll benefit the Cheetahs. Rassi's got a new system called the Pony system, player of national interest, and he will spread it around a bit. So we will have ponies in Bloemfontein in the Cheetah camp. But the other issue is that there will be a reduction in the number of contracted players in South Africa, from 900 and something to close to 400. So there will be more quality players around. Players will stick because it's not going to be easy to get contracts. It will benefit us. Quality will grow. Our financial ceiling will get closer to the ceiling of the other big guns, and that will also assist us.